break it all down. The Vault Studio, the best show in town. Show in town, best show in town, best show in town. Lights on, mic check, game time, let's go. Jay George, Scotty running the show. Rock on the mix, keeping it tight. NFL talk every day, every night.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vault Studio NFL podcast. I'm your host, J.A. I'm joined by a muscly man, Georgie K, and the human hamster, Scotty McGinnis.
That was funny, man.
The human hamster.
He's the muscle hamster.
Who was that?
The
running back.
Tampa Bay Bucks running back, Doug Martin.
Yeah.
Dougie Martin. And obviously
There's a
Brocky
few.
on the ones and twos over there doing
Shout out,
God's
Brock.
work. Welcome back to another week. I'm going to start straight out by saying there has been zero news because we are in the depths of the off season.
Not a lot going on. Rogers had a few of his new teammates out to Malibu for some practice. That's about all I heard
Nice.
through the week.
DK have his shirt off?
I would say so.
It's
yeah.
hot in Malibu
I would
right
say
now.
so, yeah.
He could be in a snowstorm and have his shirt off.
He literally has pre-game.
And with all fairness to him,
Why not?
if I was built like him, I would never wear a shirt.
Yep, that's fair.
Like if they said shirt optional, no shirt. Simple.
Yeah.
So we're going back to our division previews
Yeah, that was good
and
last
our
week.
division power rankings. We're moving over to the East this week. Obviously, we said last week, but if you missed last week, we're not doing the one division per episode stuff. We're going to get these out in the next 4 weeks and then talk some preseason football and stuff because that starts Hall of Fame game 31st of this month.
Chargers versus
Broncos?
No,
Can't
it
remember.
wouldn't be division, would it?
No, I don't know.
I think it was Kansas
That's how little
City.
I care about
Yeah.
it. The Hall
Kansas
of Fame.
City Rams, I think.
I
It
just-
might be.
I'll take a shitty Thursday night game now.
At this point, I saw this thing the other day that was
That
it was a
meme.
meme where it was
Yeah.
like, I bet you everyone's begging for the Color Rush Jaguars versus Titans of 2013
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Dude, I'm in. Let's go.
I'm watching the heartbeat. So we're doing the East this week, the AFC East and the NFC East. Let's get straight into the NFC East, Georgia. Oh, Brocky, what do you got, big dog?
Detroit versus Chargers, 31st
There
of
you
July.
go. Yeah,
one right.
that'll actually be a good game.
So it would actually be the 1st of August here.
The starters play?
No,
No,
Hall of
first
Fame
game.
game.
They usually play a series or two in the second.
I thought they might do a series now, but no.
Not in the.
It's still a 100-man roster by the time they play that game.
Yeah.
Especially if you're Detroit, I guarantee you Dan Quinn's not playing as a single
Yeah.
starter. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not risking
Nah,
any.
They'll have to-
Dan Quinn.
They're not.
Dan,
they're
oh,
not-
who do Dan
Dan
Campbell.
Campbell.
They're not-
Sorry.
Dan Quinn's also not playing anyone from for the Lions.
They're both not. They're
Yeah.
both.
Nah, they're not going to have any injuries this year. I'm calling it.
Yeah, I hope so. Hey,
Oh,
we-
that's a bad call.
We play with the injuries off here at the Vault Studio.
All right, AFC East, we ready?
Let's rip into it.
Go. Who's the first team?
The first team is the Buffalo Bills, who finished on 13-4. They had a great year last year. After a bittersweet ending to the 2024 season by the Josh Allen-led Bills, which saw their franchise QB lift the first of potentially many MVPs and a heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, the Bills have had a very productive offseason in pursuit of that elusive Lombardi trophy. The Bills agreed to contract extensions with Khalil Shakur, Terrell Bernard, Christian Bedford, and Greg Rousseau, all key core pieces.
Rousseau's a gun.
Yeah, he's so good. They also extended Josh Allen for 6 more seasons through to 2030, along with adding veteran pass rusher Joey Bosa on a 1-year deal. It's safe to say that the Bills will have this division locked up and will again be contenders this season.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. Just on Joey Bosa to start with. It's a massive upgrade from Von Miller last year.
Yeah, well, it's basically the Von Miller from 2 years ago that
Yeah.
just like subbed him out
Like,
and subbed the
Von
new
Miller
one in.
wasn't bad.
No, he
for
wasn't
him.
bad. He wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But like they were a bit unlucky with Von Miller. They signed him, then he blew his knee
Yeah,
out. Like it's at that age, you're gonna struggle to come back and be
Yeah.
super productive.
So Bosa's on a 1-year deal.
Bosa's also pretty injury prone.
Yes,
But you just hope that you can. They've got the horses in the stable there that they can withstand the grind of the season and not play him as much as he needs to play it
Yeah.
for the Chargers or something,
Yeah.
and just get him ready to go for the last, say, 6 to 8 weeks of the season and then into the playoffs.
I've copped a bit of flack in the past because I think Joey Bosa is an incredibly overrated player.
Mm.
And what I want to say is I don't think he's overrated because he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. I think he gets talked about and he has been talked about as this superstar pass rusher that his best season is 11 sacks or something like that. Like he's had one good season in the NFL and the rest have just been mediocre, injury ridden.
Yeah.
You know, we give Drew Alexander a hard time for not being available.
What do I always say about players? Your best ability is availability.
And I think that's been it. So when I say he's overrated, I'm not saying he's crap. I don't think he's a starter on any team in the NFL. He's a good player, but he's overrated to me. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a superstar.
No.
He was a solid, above average starter at his best for the Chargers, and he's
No,
probably
no,
going to
no,
be
no.
a good start.
At his best, he's borderline all pro level.
He's
At
played
his best.
He's played
But he
8
just doesn't
seasons.
string enough games together. It might be a
That's his problem.
4-week block,
That's right.
and then he'll miss 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So you don't get that.
Give it
What's
to
his
us, bro.
career sack numbers?
He's played 8 seasons. He's played 16 games in 3 of those 8 seasons.
Mm.
He hasn't played 16 games since 2021.
Mm.
His sacks total here from his first season 13, 6, 12, 8, 11, 3, 7, 5.
So,
Yeah.
so his best season was 13 sacks, which is okay. It's nothing to
Which was
sneeze
his rookie year.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was his rookie year. He kind of came off the blocks and dominated early, and then he's just kind of, which I know this sounds
He's decent
mean,
against
but
the run
it's
as well.
It's kind of similar with Nick Bosa. Like I know Nick Bosa has been Defensive Player of the Year, but again, statistically, he shot off the blocks, and then he's just plateaued out a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe the media project a little bit too much when players get a good start of their career.
Yeah.
So they get a good start of their career where they might be a top, say, 10 player of their position. And then they go, oh, he's going to be a Hall of Famer when he's all said and done. But like the NFL is such a grind, and especially at D end, it's such a punishing position.
you get
Yeah, that's
smashed
fair.
a lot.
That's fair.
You know, it's not just like the one tackle he gets planned against, schemed against. So there might be a pulling guard or a chipping tight end or a second running back or a fullback that's only there to get him.
Yeah.
So, you know, when teams start scheming against you, the production's going to dip a little bit.
It's the old JJ Watt rule when he was in
Yeah.
college at Wisconsin. He was obviously a dominant player, and the teams that had success against him didn't go away from him.
Yeah,
they
they
went
went
at him
with
all the
a lead
time.
blocker. Yeah.
Mm.
Now that actually caused him to slip in the draft, and it turns out it didn't matter because he
was pretty good,
such a
apparently.
hard worker
Yeah.
that he worked it out.
He
But
was
that's
okay. He was
but in
okay.
college, that's what teams did. They actually went
Yeah.
at him, pulled against him, or like you, and then he just learnt. Obviously, they actually made a monster because
Yeah.
they taught him that okay, we're going to run at you. He was like, all right, run at me now.
Cool.
I'm going
All
to
right.
learn how to stop that.
Yeah.
So just back on
The Bills.
on the Bills.
Yeah.
I think their only issue going forward is that, I mean, not so much in division, but we're talking, you know, grand scheme
Yeah.
Super Bowl. I think Josh is going to have another season like he did, unfortunately,
And
because
I think he will. I don't see any reason why.
I don't see any reason why he can't either, because you know he's healthy and he's
They got
playing well.
better offensively. Like obviously Keon Coleman going into his second year. He had a somewhat disappointing rookie year, but my expectations weren't super high for him.
Hmm.
I think he showed enough to make you think that he's a good 2 deep threat,
Mm.
red zone
He's-
guy, big guy.
Yeah.
He's not a 120 catch a season sort of
No,
operator. That's
no,
not what he
and
does.
I
He's a
think
big
that's
guy.
what the expectation was on him. But those bigger target guys, I think it takes a little bit longer for them to learn the speed of the NFL and learn where the soft parts of the zone is, and that's
Sure.
where they rack up their catches.
the easy catches.
Yeah. Like London does a very good job of it now.
Yeah, true.
So it's a similar sort of body and skill set.
Yeah,
Where
that's a good comp, actually. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then they added Josh Palmer, who
Yeah.
I really like him. He's a big slot.
Yep.
I think he's going to be valuable.
And Shakir was good.
And Shakir had a really good season
He
last year. Like
he was
underrated
good.
season
Yeah, he was
last
He had
year.
100 catches, I think, off the top of my head. So it was pretty good. They got the double tight ends as well, Dalton Kincaid and
yeah, he's good. I
Dawson
like him.
Knox.
I like him.
I think Kincaid's going to take a step this year.
And obviously they've got Mitch Trubisky if everything goes wrong. You know, the ultimate fall guy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, Mike White's the
Fellas.
ultimate fall guy.
Fellas.
Why are you still going
I don't
around?
think
That's a playoff quarterback right there.
I don't think I'm speaking out of school here, but if Mitch Trubisky's taking meaningful snaps for the Buffalo Bills,
Yeah,
there's big
something's-
problems.
It's
there.
over.
Yeah.
It's over. No, I think you nailed it with your blurb, George. This team's set to win the division, and I don't. Okay, barring injuries, I don't see another world where this team's on the best team in the AFC.
Yeah.
East. I just can't see it. I think they'll most likely sweep the division because I don't think Miami. We'll talk about it, but I don't think any other teams are going to actually get better. So
No.
maybe the Patriots get better, but you know they're
Not
only
in a
getting
way
better
they're
from a
challenging for
very
the
bottom.
Yeah, they come from a
Yeah.
long way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think the Bills are the team to beat in this division. They've added like even guys
Elijah
like
Moore.
Elijah Moore's a
He's a
solid
really
player,
talented guy, yeah.
and Laviska Shenault again. He's more
Yeah.
of a special teamer at this point, a returner, but
A
an
gadgety
electric
sort of
guy. They
Yeah.
can do things with him. And then James Cook going into a contract year as well. He's going to be.
That's a big one.
He's
yeah.
going to because I guarantee you, James Cook will not be playing for the Buffalo Bills after this season. I
don't know.
I just don't think they'll.
They don't want to pay him, you think?
I think it'll be he's such a good player. I think he'll get an offer from another team that will just way outbid what the
Sure.
Bills are willing to
I
pay.
think the Bills know how important he is. And I think that he's going to realize how important he is to the Bills because obviously the defense is keying in on Allen's running ability, which frees up a little bit of space for Cook on the runs.
Yep.
So they sort of need each other a little bit. So I don't know where he would go. I don't know if he leaves for the money or you go for wins. It's sort of like
it depends what the money is. Really.
Yeah.
If someone's offering him CMC money, he's gone because the Bills.
Oh, of course.
But
But if someone offers him CMC money,
they're crazy.
yeah.
But the Raiders are a team in the NFL. Remember?
Yeah, but they've also got Ashton Jenkins.
That's true.
So,
as well.
yeah, but they got Quinton Jenkins, who's a gun too.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting. I bet he's in a contract year. He'll be
Yeah,
wanting to earn his money.
Yep.
And whether it's from the Bills or someone else, he'll be.
I think he's holding out. It's a peaceful holdout, I think, at the moment.
I don't. They running backs are just unless you're the top tier guys. So I really like James Cook. So don't get me wrong. But unless you're the top tier guys, the holdouts and running backs just don't really mean that much.
They don't.
They'll just roll with Ty Johnson.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, cool. No
Well,
worries.
he didn't look
and
too bad.
he's a
last
solid
year.
player. Like he had a big catch.
Ray
in a
Davis
play-
had some.
I think did he have the big catch in the Ravens playoff game to win that game? I'm pretty sure.
He had a lot of catches out of the backfield that game.
Yeah, like he's just a really good player. But yeah, this team is we're looking playoffs for this team. They're going to be a playoff team. It's whether they can get over the hump. Similar to what we talked about the Ravens last week. Like these guys, the Bills seem to escape a lot of the criticism that other top tier teams escape. And I think it comes down to the fact that Josh Allen's playoff games are so good that there's no one to really blame. It's easy when like a quarterback has a bad playoff game to be like, okay, well, let's pick on Lamar or Prescott or whoever the battle of the ball is for this season.
Sure.
Yeah.
Josh Allen plays like if you take his
He sort of
17
raises-
playoff games,
Yeah.
he's an MVP in his 17 playoff games he's played.
Yeah.
Like he's that good in the playoffs that you can't really blame him. So they don't know what to do with this team and how to blame them because if you
Also, comparing to the Ravens, he doesn't have the Flowers and the Derrick Henry there to fall back on.
no, that's fair.
But he also had the Diggs at the start of his career to help him as well.
yeah, they've been.
All right, let's not get defensive.
I'm just bringing up like straight fact.
Yeah,
they
but
did.
I think Josh Allen escapes criticism that Lamar cops, and I think it's unfair at times. Personally, I just think
Yes.
I think it's a bit unfair.
Yep.
He's had as many failures in the playoffs as the Ravens had, and I think this comes down to this media, enterprise that unless they can blame a quarterback, they don't know what to blame.
I think this year he will have that because now he's an MVP.
I
I think
potentially.
previously, because Lamar was an MVP, the expectations were maybe higher.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Therefore,
That's
the criticisms were stronger. Now that he's an MVP, I think that will be
Everything's
an
viewed through that
equal-
lens. Yeah, I know what
There's
you're
an
saying.
equal sort of view there.
Yeah, that's very fair. I'm tipping we've all got the Bills to win the division at this point.
Oh no, Miami for sure.
You got next
Easy.
George.
You guys don't know ball.
The New York Jets. The goddamn Jets.
Well, speaking of the Dolphins, so the Dolphins were 8-9 last year. So
That's a surprising.
Yeah, better than
I
I
know, right?
thought. Better than I thought.
one of the hottest coaching seats in the NFL this upcoming season will have to be that of Mike McDaniel, and not because of the sunny Miami weather. After another less than impressive season, McDaniel will almost certainly be on the unemployment line sooner than later this year. The team
Can we have Skid Row?
The team is devoid of grit and are viewed as flat track bullies who beat up on crappy teams but can't beat a team above 500. Nothing short of a playoff run will save his skin as a season where the wheels completely fall off beckons.
We've talked about this a few times. Their off season has been horrendous.
Mm.
Like you've had Tyreek Hill literally slandering the team every chance he gets.
Yep.
He's so highly paid that it's not even a contract dispute at this point because he's so well paid. Jalen Waddle,
For the production last
He's
year, he was
overpaid.
well overpaid.
Well overpaid.
yes,
Yeah.
and I don't think they did anything in the off season to get better. I'm not excited over Darren Waller. Like John Smith is a better tight end. They got worse at tight end.
Yeah.
They got worse at the offensive line with Eric Armstead retiring. Not Eric Armstead. I always get his first name wrong. Armstead, the left tackle.
Yeah.
If you know his name,
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
know. It's superstar, but he just couldn't stay healthy when he got
Yep.
to Miami.
Yeah.
I don't think they've done anything to make me think this team's better this season. And they've got a coach under pressure, and that normally doesn't pay off. When you
And I reckon he's about this close to losing the locker room because there's a lot of like murmurs and rumors that guys are rocking up late to meetings, they're rocking up late to practices.
Yeah.
And he's even said before, yeah, I find guys, but it doesn't work because the players just don't respect him. It's as simple as that.
And then, not to mention the cherry on top of it all is that Tua is not even one hit away. He's one tackle away
Yeah.
from being concussed.
He's the wind-changing direction away from retirement.
That's what I mean. Like we saw it last year. He missed a few games last year. Like this whole team is riddled with big questions that at this point there's no answers to.
No obvious answers anyway.
No. Like, I love Jalen Waddle, but he struggled last year.
Yeah.
And they all struggled without Tua. And then with Tua, they were better, but they're not a good offensive line. They're very top heavy.
Yeah, they're paying a lot of contracts, a lot of expensive contracts, but they're not getting the production out of those players.
Yeah.
That's an issue. That's a big issue. Like even through the draft, they didn't really draft too well. Like I was really happy. I was really high on Ollie Gordon. He was the running back out of Oklahoma that had the off-field issues. But like at running back, they got A-Chain and who's the other speedster guy? Jalen Wright.
And Alexander Madison, who was a starter last year.
Well, yes, but he's a different body type. He's more your short yardage kind of guy. But Ollie Gordon's the same sort of body as A-Chain and Wright. So like you've drafted the third guy now. Like,
and then again, if you go down to defensively, they've got Bradley Chubb still, who was injured a lot last year. Very highly paid.
Yeah.
They're trying to move him, but no one wants him.
No, of course not.
And then Jalen Phillips, who I love, but the poor bugger hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Yeah.
He had the head issue in college at Miami.
Yeah.
And then blew his knee or tore his Achilles last year, I think it was, when he was playing really well. So
Jordan Phillips.
Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips, the outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Sorry.
So, but look, he's a really good player, but he's just coming off an Achilles tear. He had head injuries in college. Like, there's so many questions. Every player we talk about, like Minkah Fitzpatrick, they traded for him. His best is behind him. Like, it's another question mark to a player they're relying on. It all just doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know where they're going. And I truly believe this is going to be a horrendous season.
This could be like a 4-win season.
Yeah, and McDaniels will be gone, and it's a blow up year. Nothing's worked out. We fire the coach, we fire the GM, we move on.
I think so. Yeah.
We start again. And I think that like Tua's too highly paid for them to move on from him, but it's
How many years he got left on his contract?
he only got re-signed starter last year. It was the end of the season before when he had that massive year through for the.
So it might kick in next year.
I think it would have kicked in this year.
Kicks in this year.
Yeah,
he's got 4 years. So after this year, he has 3 more years.
So you can't really move off him even if you
Well,
want
it depends on the guarantees.
Yeah,
they might be stuck with him for the next 2 seasons. They can probably get off a fair bit of cap after that. But yeah, it's a grim outlook for a pretty poorly built roster.
I feel like Miami deserves some success. Like Miami fans, they deserve some success.
Like, I don't know that the organization does. The fans do, but not the organization.
That's what I mean. The fans do, but they just keep making. They finally get. 2 years ago, it was like, okay, it's all happening. They got McDaniels, Tua's playing well.
Yep.
They got Hill. They've traded for Hill. Waddle's gone off. We've just re-signed Waddle. Like, everything's working for him. And it just, in the space of a season, just almost like they traded for Bradley Chubb. It all just fell apart.
It's kind of, it's almost like they're a year late. So they get Mike McDonald where it's a year late with that Shanahan offense. And then, they hit their strides and now all the defenses have figured out the Shanahan offense. And he goes, I don't really know anything else. This cover 2 shell pretty much stops everything that we want to do. And we just can't move the ball. We don't run the ball. Like outside of that 1 year where they had, who was a running back?
Mostert.
Yeah, Mostert. That had like a freak year.
20 touchdowns.
Yeah, when he was almost 30. And then that's it. Like, it's an anomaly.
Yeah, it would be interesting to say. Like, I'm putting all my bets on these guys being really terrible, and I think it's a pretty safe.
I think they're worse than the division.
Agreed.
I think they're going to be worse than the Jets and worse than the Patriots.
Yeah, agreed.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think they're just going to implode.
Hopefully,
if Tua gets hurt, they're done. Like, they're absolutely done. Pack your bags.
Hey,
GM, pack your bags.
They've got Zach Wilson, who just got married, so he's focusing on other things now than milk.
Yeah. And you know what? Zach Wilson and Quentin Ewers are both better than who did they have? White last year?
Yeah, I think it was Mike White. Yeah, I think it was Mike White.
You know what I mean? Like, so at least they're prepared for Tua not being there in some sense.
If Tua goes down, I'm putting in Ewers at least to see what you got.
Yeah, we've seen what Zach Wilson has.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But
like,
Zach Wilson hasn't played. I mean, he didn't play with Denver, but he hasn't played with an offensive coach either. So you don't really know.
He could pull a Sam Darnold. Everyone
Yeah.
thought Sam Darnold was done. It's
Yeah.
a very similar situation. The Jets do a lot of things to destroy young
I think
quarterbacks.
Darnold might end up being the exception, not the rule.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. All right, who you got next? I think it's the New York
Next, we've
Football
got
Jets.
the New York Football Jets, who finished 5-12
Who calls them
last
the
year.
football Jets?
It's because you don't know why I do it. Because they call them the New York Football Giants. So I do it to piss off the New York Giant fans because they hate it when you call them the New York Football Jets.
Okay.
They get pissed off by it.
I think it
I
piss off more of the Jets fans. That's not their name.
Oh, I hate
Fireman
the
Ed
Giants.
is just going to
Fuck
be.
the Giants. All right.
Goddamn Jets.
All right, the goddamn Jets. After finding out that going all in on a 41-year-old QB isn't the path to the promised land, it was time to clean house in New York. After unnecessary firing Saleh mid-season, the Jets have their new head coach, Aaron Glenn, at the helm. Now on his third team in 4 years, they also have brought in Justin Fields as their QB, who will be reunited with college teammate Garrett Wilson and will be looking to bring exciting and dynamic play to an at times anemic Jets offense. Don't expect great things in year one of Glenn's rebuild as he looks to mold this Jets outfit in his image in upcoming off seasons.
Just to touch on the Aaron Glenn sign. I love Aaron Glenn. I loved him as a player. I loved him as a DC. I loved him as a head coach
Yep.
before he's even coached.
Yep.
My problem is with it is, didn't we see this 3 years ago with Saleh? The best DC in football.
No.
They bring Saleh in. He changes the culture. He tries to do all this stuff. And then 3 years later, we're back in the exact same position, maybe a worse
Can
position.
I zag on this?
Yeah,
Because
I agree. It does seem like they're rerunning the same script. I do agree.
I have more faith in Glenn because Glenn didn't start off as a defensive coach.
Yes.
Started off in the scouting department as like a scouting assistant, then went to a scout, then to an assistant scout, or like to a head scout, then went to a defensive assistant, then a defensive coach, then a DC. So he's got all the runs on the board throughout the organization, and he knows how an organization is ran, and he's been a part of an organization that's turned around in the Lions.
And he's the first of a Dan Campbell coaching tree.
Yes.
With
Johnson?
with Ben Johnson.
Yes.
So, don't get me wrong, I hope it works out. I loved Aaron Glenn was one of my favorite players who played for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and you know he's got that edge.
Physical,
Yeah.
tough. Him and Anthony Henry playing corners for the Cowboys in like the mid 2000s were so enjoyable. Like I loved him. I just feel like they're rewriting. They're running the same script. This was
they are.
Saleh was the same guy 3 years ago.
Yeah, but I think Saleh, they may have got Saleh too early, is what I'm
Potentially.
like. I feel like he's done his apprenticeship. He's worked in an organization for a long time.
See, I don't think Saleh was a bad coach. I thought he was a
No,
good
he
coach.
wasn't. I think it was Saleh.
No, Saleh was a good defensive coordinator,
Yeah.
right? And when he was the head coach of the Jets, their defense was very good.
Yeah.
When you're a head coach, they need to understand that, oh, I'm an offensive guru or I'm a defensive guy. It doesn't matter anymore what you are. The whole team needs to be successful. This is what got Saleh fired. It's all well and good.
Well,
yes.
Aaron Rodgers got Saleh fired.
Well,
let's be honest.
In fact, like he tore his Achilles the first year. Who knows what happens that year? And then we've all said that down the stretch last year, he wasn't that bad. They fired Saleh, and then the defense fell off a cliff, and then the offense got a bit better. So that's the Jets organization in a nutshell. They just make dumb moves all the time.
True.
But my point is, like, you are held accountable for your entire team. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm a head coach. My defense is a top 5 defense. I don't care." No, your whole team. You're governed by your entire team, and he didn't do a good job of running the entire team.
And
Simple
also,
as that.
the responsibilities are just out of control. Like the media, the team meetings, the coaching meetings, making sure that like the buses and the training and schedule and like training,
any
traveling
off-field issues.
Yeah, exactly. So your responsibilities are like 30 times the amount more. But I don't know. I have a feeling that they've invested in the O-line again with Membu.
Membu, yeah, drafting
He
him
was
was-
the best tackle. And
for Shanu, we've already talked about it before. He was so good
He came
down
on-
the stretch
yeah.
last year. So good.
And to get a right tackle that early in the draft, there's got to be something there. I like Mason Taylor. He's a bit of an explosive tight end. He doesn't mind, blocking a little bit.
Yep.
He'll be okay.
I'm shocked that the son of Jason Taylor doesn't mind the physical stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Shocked.
Fair.
They've got the home run hitting running back. They've got the bruising running back. They're going to run the ball a lot, which is going to protect Fields a little bit.
How do you think Fields will go?
I don't think he's going to be disappointing. I just think that they're not going to unleash him. Yeah.
I'm excited to see him have the rank because I thought when he played for Pittsburgh last year, He was dynamic, enjoyable. He was much more enjoyable to watch than Russell Wilson.
Wilson was awful.
Yeah, like Wilson
Wilson
found
had a little patch of like 3
Yeah,
weeks
where
where
he
he was
was
okay,
good.
and then he went into protection mode.
Yes, and that's what I mean. Like Wilson's like Justin Fields is playing for his career. Wilson wasn't playing for his career.
No.
He knew that a dumb team like the Giants were going to sign him
Yep.
for a
Yeah.
1-year deal.
Yep.
He's got his runs on the board.
And also,
Fields
he
has
doesn't
nothing
care
on
because
the board.
he's got his money, so he doesn't really care.
So yeah,
anymore.
That's very true.
I'm he was still getting paid by Denver
Yeah,
last
exactly.
year.
That's true.
He was on
That's
vet
how much he
minimum
didn't
and
give a
getting
fuck.
$40 million from Denver still.
Yeah.
So I think that Fields is playing for more, and I'm excited to see. I'm nervously excited. I want him to be good, but history tells us that he's probably, as you said before, Sam Darnold's probably the outlier from these sort of scenarios. I just hope he's fun. I hope for Jets fans they can watch a fun Justin Fields throwing it up to Wilson. You know, I was going to say another receiver,
this is
but
what
the
I
other
think.
two didn't get me excited at all.
I think they got sorry, go.
There's some factors playing, like working against him though, in real time. Third team in 4 years.
Yep.
Like I said, he's walking in the door with a new head coach and potential. I think it's a new OC too.
It's
I
all
can't-
new. All new
Everything's
stuff.
all new coaching staff in an already dysfunctional organization. There's a lot working against him behind the scenes, and like he's kind of proven that there's a bit of a ceiling to where his talent level can get him. Like, so I think he's. I hope he doesn't, because he seems like a fine young man, but I'm worried he's going to struggle.
Yeah,
No, I
it's,
think
it's a more realistic situation.
Yeah.
I hope not, but it's a more realistic.
I think it's probably a better situation where he doesn't have to mold himself to the Steelers way.
Yeah, that's fair.
He doesn't have to mold his way. Like, we know that Tomlin's stuck in his ways. We know that Arthur Smith is stuck in his way. He gets to grow with the organization, and he gets a chance. Like, Tyrod Taylor's not coming for his job.
I just looked up. I cannot believe Tyrod Taylor's still
But
on
that
the
is
NFL
that is the
roster.
perfect vet to have
Yeah.
behind a young quarterback that's been in every
similar
system.
style of player too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been in every system. He's not coming for his job. He goes, hey, this is your read on this one. Flick it over. If that's not there, do that. If that's not there, boot.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
he's got more security in this role than what he has probably in any role.
That's
So I think that,
he signed a two-year deal as well, so
Yep.
they're going to give him a little bit of time.
and starter money, 20 million a year. He's not,
yeah, it's 2 years, 40 million. That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not, he's given an opportunity to really win the job and get another contract.
And then defensively, do we think they can get back to their? Because the personnel wise, they're still a pretty talented defense in terms of players.
Mm.
Sauce Gardner, I know last year was a bit of a down year for him, but he was still very good.
Well, it's a contract year for Gardner, so
Yeah,
that's always, those type of players tend to get up for contract years and then seem to go missing. So,
start hot, drop off a little bit,
Yeah.
contract year.
yeah. So,
But he's extremely talented, like Sauce.
yes, but I think he's more of a flashy player than a good player.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a bit off source.
bit of a D'Angelo Hall sort of.
I'm a bit off
operator.
source because his last 2 seasons given away a lot of penalties too.
Yeah,
a
I
lot
think-
of holding calls. They're starting to call them more now
He's
too,
like-
on him. He's a bit there's a bigger guy, like roughing guys up a lot at the line of scrimmage, and now a lot of them are just getting
They
called
lost
and they're struggling.
DJ Reed as well, which is a big loss.
Yeah, that is a big
Yeah.
loss. That was who
Lions got him.
Lions got him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
It's a good signing.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not expecting big things out of the Jets, but I think it's not going to be the dumpster fire franchise that we're used to seeing. We're going to see the blueprint for a good organization, and they might win 6 games, but they might just look like a genuine football team for once.
That's exactly what I think too. It's going to be, Aaron Glenn's going to set the tone, set the reset the culture in the organization. They're going to be a stout defense. They're going to have a solid run game. Like, they're going to look like a proper football team.
They're going to
look
play
like-
hard under
Yeah.
and because if you don't play hard,
and they're not going to be.
he's
an
got
easy
nothing to
beat.
lose. He'll just cut guys.
That's what I was
He
just about to
doesn't
say.
care. I guarantee he doesn't care.
There's going to be some roster turnover here, and there's going to be some big names that are going to leave because there's going to be some guys that are going to be like, oh, we don't do this. And he goes, no, I do this in my team. You're going to the Titans. See you later.
That's what I'm saying.
Enjoy the Browns.
yeah.
And that's kind of why I put it in my rundown. It's like, yeah, Glenn's going to shape the team how he wants it to
Yep.
look.
Yep.
Like, and
Yep.
that's going to be
I think the 2-year
A 2 or 3
growing
year
period
process.
here for the Jets is going to be mostly positive. They're not going to win a lot of games, but you're going to see a very good the foundation's a very good team here.
I think if you're a Jets fan and you saw that, like, yeah, okay, they've won 6 games, but they've looked good. They haven't been an easy beat. They haven't rolled over.
Yep.
You know, week after week, and you can see that trending upwards. I think if
You have
that's
some
what you get,
confidence in Justin Fields.
yeah, if you can get that at the end of the year, you should be happy.
That's a good swing for Fields. Just like, he's obviously a little bit polarizing, and I know we spoke about him, but like to take a swing on a guy that was, you know, some people think he's a fantastic quarterback. Some people think he's going to be out of the league, but you get him in your doors for $20 million a year. And you don't give up anything to have a swing at him.
And Pittsburgh wanted him. He said no to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they were playing the slow game with him, and he was like, "No, I'm out. Then don't worry about it.
And
If you don't want me now, I'll just wait."
They're probably thinking, look, worst case scenario, he's awful, and we're probably a top 5 pick
Exactly.
anyway, and when we could draft a QB
And they've got
anyway.
no money. They're not holding any big money.
Yeah.
And then if he's really good, you got another year of him being really good. It's not like the Darnold deal where he's on a 1-year deal. It's like
Well, if he's really
Well,
good
you-
after,
you-
it's really
you
good after
re-sign
1 year,
him.
you probably extend him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you give him a 3-year
You
contract.
got to remember, he went to Chicago to start off with that didn't care about him as well. Chicago were a shit team when he
That's
was
right.
there. They didn't try and build around him. They built around Caleb Williams. No one knows what he could be as a quarterback.
They got DJ Moore in his last year, and then went, try and figure it out with a defensive head coach in that dumpster fire organization.
Exactly
It was
right.
terrible, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So rounding out this division, we've got the Patriots who were 4-13. With familiar faces returning to Foxborough in new head coach Mike Vrabel and OC Snake Boy Josh McDaniels, it's clear that in New England, the Patriot way is the right way. After drafting Will Campbell at 4 to protect his blind side, big things are expected of second-year signal caller Drake May. With basically no offensive weapons, bad O-line play, and an inept coaching staff under Gerard Mayo, May showed enough that he has the traits to be the Pats' next franchise QB.
Yep.
Big shoes to fill after Tom Brady. With competent coaching and a very, very soft schedule, I won't be surprised if this Patriots team sneaks a wild card spot come playoff time.
I've got an
They've got the
opening-
second easiest strength of schedule.
Can I give you a question to start off for you boys? Is the hype for Drake May a bit too much? Are we getting too close to the sun with this?
No,
I like him. Don't get me wrong.
No, I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because again, shit coach, it was zero direction basically on offense. Basically no NFL talent. Everyone was fucking terrible, and he still showed enough. He still showed flashes.
Yeah, it's
He
fair.
showed he had the arm. He showed he had the mobility. He showed that he could throw with anticipation, which I believe those things are innate.
Yeah.
You can nurture them, but you can't teach them. He showed enough. He showed enough with no talent. So with enough talent around him, and Snake Boy, say what you want about him. When he's been OC, he made Mac Jones look good,
True, he did.
you know. And Mac Jones is
Got him a
awful,
second head coaching job.
right? So he made Mac Jones look
It's
good.
actually
So
very
say what you
true.
want about Snake Boy. When he's been the OC in New England, he's made it happen.
He's had success.
Can I-
That's fair.
Can I, as the first person to buy a block of land on Drake May
I'm
Island,
Drake May Island, yeah. I might buy one next to you, bro.
I was there. I was there straight away.
I'm never buying one because I'm a spiteful prick.
Nah.
Fair.
Can
Self-awareness.
can this be both things at the same time?
Yes.
So is this
But what are the things?
So is this the Boston media because the Red Sox are shit, the Celtics are shit, and they're going, oh, we'll just circle back to the Patriots. Oh, we'll just hype up our young quarterback.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's that, but everyone else goes, okay, the team was dog shit, but he's a gunslinger. We all love a young gunslinger.
Tall,
Then-
white, handsome gunslinger.
Yeah.
That's
So
exactly what it
Ticks
is.
all the
The
boxes.
T-shirts, boys, get
Yeah.
around them.
So can it be both things at the same time?
He's not very tall. He's just over 6
Brock,
foot.
you do not bring up height in this podcast. That is
No
a
one but George or
dangerous-
me can bring up
That is a dangerous game you're playing.
He's
But
not
you're right.
tall.
In fairness, in the NFL standard, he's not tall. He's just being factual. in
Is
fairness.
the blackest 5'5" called?
No,
Peter?
Hey, hey,
Hey, whoa.
5'8", motherfucker.
It's just fair. He's only 6 foot. I thought he was tall. He's
nearly,
not.
He's nearly 6'1". He's 100 kilos. He's a solid kid, man.
He's
Yeah,
not
no.
nearly 6'1". He's closer to 6 foot than he's 6'1".
Shut up.
He's closer to 50 than he is to 20.
I was not wrong. Yeah, I've got 3 rookies. If I know, I digress. But there's 3 rookie wide receivers that everyone should be getting on their fantasy team: Kyle Williams from the Patriots, Luther Burden from the Bears, and Higgins from Texans. They're your picks.
Right.
So I think Kyle Williams is going to explode. He's such a talented receiver,
Yep.
and they've got Hollands, he'll beat Hollands out. No worries. See you
Holland's
later.
a solid guy. Holland's will play.
Hollands is a solid
Holland's
guy.
the ultimate jag of the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Yeah.
a solid guy. Kyle Williams has a little bit of something special.
Yeah, okay.
So watch out for that. That's going to be good.
What do we think of the Stephon Diggs move? Old Pink Pony Club on the boat. What do we think of it?
Well,
Look,
he's,
you have
he's
to-
fresh off breaking up with Cardi B. So
I've
he's got
heard
something to prove.
he
Yeah,
gave her
that
the,
BBL. Look it up.
he said it
no.
was stinky.
Yeah.
Oh, shocked.
You know-
Shocked and
Expired,
ass is stinky. Get your nose out of
expired
it.
bin juice was the. If you can imagine that stench, that's what he called it
That's
straight
a-
from his
That's a
mouth.
direct quote.
Yeah.
He's just as a quick side note, is anyone surprised at Cardi B?
No.
Are you saying no? You're not surprised? Because I'm saying no, I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not saying.
Move on.
I'm saying no. I'm not surprised.
Different
and
chat,
no.
different podcast.
The conversation stops there. Yeah, I think that like the Jets, I think they're probably ahead of schedule. And they're probably going to look a little bit better because obviously Vrabel's raised the tides sort of operation.
100%.
Yeah, positive things will. They're not going to be an easy beat.
No, with Vrabel, I think that's
Yeah,
we all know he played hard, he coaches hard. Again, similar to the Aaron Glenn thing. If guys don't want to play hard for him,
That's why he got. That's why he got run out of town in Tennessee because he was too hard on the players. They
Yeah.
didn't like it.
yeah,
Trayvon Henderson's also a very good running back out of Ohio State too. So they're going to be running the ball. Ramonde's gone.
Guys,
See you later.
I'm telling you now, Pats are going to be sneaky good. They
won't be sneaky.
what's
Good.
sneaky good for you?
in the hunt for a wild card.
No.
Receipt,
No chance.
I don't think.
No.
that-
receipt.
I only
too many good teams.
agree with you in the fact because if Drake May propels like we
Though-
think he will,
Eighth
Definitely.
or ninth in the conference market.
Yeah, okay. They could be 8th or 9th, but I don't think that they're a playoff caliber team.
no, not yet. Talent
I
wise,
just said they're gonna be sneaking for a wild card.
I think that they'll surpass 7 wins, but I don't know if they're a play. I think that the AFC West might have 3 people in the playoffs.
Okay.
yeah. I don't think they're a playoff team. Shout out to Christian Gonzalez still on the defensive side of the ball. That guy is
Love it.
Absolute stud.
just a
Absolute
dog.
stud.
Love him. Plays
Hopefully he comes back healthy.
plays every defensive back position, outside corner, slot corner, free safety, strong safety, bit of nickel linebacker. He plays whatever they want him to.
Yep.
He is the meal ticket for Mike Vrabel over the next couple of years. I think he's going to be such a good football player. I think he's going to compete for Defensive Player of the Year. I think that's how good a player I think he's going to be.
Again, stout defense. It'll be strong
It'll
running
be interesting
game.
to see Williams as well. He got paid an absolute
Milton
bucket
Williams,
load.
yeah, he's already on the hot seat because that money was outrageous from playing five or six.
I don't know about hot
games.
seat. I think if anyone can get the best out of him, it'll be Vrabel.
Yeah, listen, and we talked about this a few weeks ago. D tackles are getting paid. It's the new fad of the NFL. Is you want pass rushing, disruptive interior line.
Yep.
That's
If
why.
you can play the 3 near agile,
Yep.
you're going to get paid.
Yeah,
That's why good guards are getting paid now too.
But he beat out Jordan Brooks last year. Like they were not playing Jordan Brooks, a former top 10 pick.
Yeah.
So or top 12 pick, whatever he was, to play Milton Williams.
You mean Jordan Davis?
Jordan Davis? Sorry,
Davis, yeah.
Jordan Brooks, the linebacker
Jordan
from
Brooks.
Miami.
Yes.
ex Seattle, Miami.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis. He was taking reps from Jordan Davis. So, all right, that is it for the AFC East. We'll do our power rankings at the end. Let's go to the NFC East. I'm assuming, George, you want to start with the Eagles. Everyone just unplug your mics. And
No, we're not fucking. Calm down, idiots.
Did you know they won the Super Bowl last year?
We've got like 14 more days to go on about it, so enjoy.
All right. So the Eagles finished 14-3
I thought we were going. Okay.
Eagles.
after a.
I would have gone alphabetical.
No, I'll go by ranking in the division from last week.
There it is.
After a flawless performance and historic beatdown against the Kansas City Chiefs, it's business as usual for the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Led by Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts, who incidentally will have his 10th new play caller in as many years, will be looking to lead this star-studded team on another Super Bowl run. Although much maligned in the media, Sirianni has matured into a very competent coach who has proven he can manage and motivate the locker room. Once again, the only team that can beat the Eagles is themselves as they look to go back-to-back this upcoming season.
It's an interesting concept when you have to praise a 40-year-old man for maturing, but continue.
Who are you trying to mature? Nick Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni.
I don't think he's 40.
He might be
He's-
50.
he's-
Yeah. It's
Nah,
an
he
interesting
did.
concept.
He matured terrifically last year.
Yeah, he's 44.
44, there you go.
Did I misspeak? Did he not mature?
No,
You just my
He did.
thing is that you expect a 40-year-old to already be mature.
Well.
No, life comes at you hard, man.
No, I'm just taking the piss. Obviously, Super Bowl champs. lost a little bit of talent on the defense. We'll see how that goes, but they've obviously star-studded pretty much in every position. They could probably
Like, you just go through this offensive.
the
depth
corners. I'm
chart.
still a little bit iffy on, but
Look at the offensive depth chart.
yeah, it's wild. Isn't it?
It has to be the best offense in football. Like, it just has to be. It's so good. AJ Brown, Jahan Dotson, former first-round pick who got traded last year for nothing and scored a touchdown in the Super
He
Bowl.
did. It was a great catch.
I'm so off.
Devontae Smith, Jordan Mailata, second-team All-Pro. Landon Dickerson, second-team All-Pro. Cam Jurgens, Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Tyler Steen, who's only in there because they let
Mekhi
Becton walk.
Chargers, yeah.
And then Lane Johnson, who's possibly the best right tackle of all time.
Yep.
They're Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley. Like, it's...
I would say
I-
them
I-
and the
I'm-
Lions. You flip a coin.
I'm not saying this to
Nah,
be an
no, we're better than the
asshole.
Lions.
I'm actually not saying this to be an asshole. Jalen Hurts is the second worst player on this offense behind the right guard.
That's an outrageous call.
No, that's fair.
Who's worse? Which player is worse than Jalen Hurts?
Oh, Jahan
other than
Dotson.
the right guard.
Jahan
Jahan
Dotson.
Dotson. Sorry,
He's
and Jahan
spastic.
Dotson.
He's a
Which
spastic.
player is worse? He's
Oh.
every other position is better than him.
He's,
Yeah.
he's better than Cam Jurgens.
Is he?
And
I
he's
think-
better than Dallas Goddard.
Oh, I think Dallas got it so good.
I agree. He's
I
good.
love him.
I would say Dallas Goddard.
Anyway,
Is-
it's irrelevant. We're easily the best offense in the league.
I think so too.
On paper.
I
Easily?
think so too.
Easily.
I wouldn't say easily over the Lions.
No, we're better than the Lions.
I don't, okay, here's a fun question. Who's straight swap? Goff for Jalen Hurts?
No, I want Hurts.
Goff.
No.
I'm taking Jalen Hurts.
Hurts,
I think
Hurts,
As a
Hurts,
quarterback?
Hurts
I think
in Philly.
Jalen Hurts is better than Goff.
Yeah, he
In
is
that
better.
system, I think he's.
100%.
In that,
Man.
in that system, yeah.
No,
But
I'm
you
saying
just
right now.
said-
I'm saying right now. If you're the
in
Eagles
general.
and
If you're
the
the
Lions
Eagles,
come and
yeah.
go, hey, Jared
In
Goff and
general.
Jalen Hurts,
I'm
swapping.
But the Lions aren't going to take Hurts over Goff.
Well, then they're going to lose
Maybe
because he's a
not.
winner and Goff isn't.
But they're not. They're
Yes,
not.
he is. He's a fucking winner, mate.
No,
Goff's a
I
winner.
said that
Goff's
the
a
Lions
winner.
aren't taking Hurts over Goff.
That's what I'm saying, and they're going to lose because Hurts is a winner and Goff isn't.
No, now I'm taking Goff. George ruined it. I'm a Goff guy. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're right on par. My point is that Jalen Hurts is the third worst player on this offense.
And yeah, like I said, since going back to 2016, his first year as a starter in Alabama to this season,
Where he got benched.
he will
for
have
Tua.
10. This will be his 10th new play caller in 10 years.
Oh, well, that's life.
You should
I'm
have a
just
pretty good understanding of offense then.
Yeah, and like
Why does he run so much?
The team around the team
Because
is
he's good at it. That's why.
the team is so good.
So
It's
bad.
so good.
We are-
And then defensively, that's where they kind of had their most
Just go down the defense, please. bro.
losses, where they copped the most losses this year. But it doesn't matter. They've still got the great wide.
They kept all the starters, really.
Yeah, they let
Just let a lot of
Apart
depth,
from
a
Darius
lot of depth.
Slay.
they
who
let
was-
Slay leave, who had
the-
a good playoff.
Yeah.
So good playoffs.
So I wasn't going to, but
Oh.
you guys started with the slander. So now
Where was slander? I just said Jalen Hurts is the third worst
I've
player on
come-
that offense, and I'm right.
I've come with some stats. Can I give you some stats on
On
last
what?
year? On the Eagles.
Yeah, on last
on,
year, fine.
on last year.
Yeah, go. You got 14 more days.
2024 Eagles
Yep.
won 18 games, which is tied for the most of all time. And these are the teams it's tied with. Brady's 07 Patriots,
Mm.
Played one
Montana's
less game.
84 49ers,
Played one less game.
and probably the best defense of all time, the 85 Bears.
Played one less game.
Shut up, Scott.
They probably
Games.
hang on. The last two teams probably played 2 less games. They would have been playing a 16-game
I
season.
think 85 Bears was 15
We finished.
Yeah.
We finished the season with 16 out of a possible 17 wins. Our only loss was when our starting QB got injured in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm.
That's
Right.
fair. That's actually really fair.
Right, so that we have the most points ever in the playoffs ever. And we hang on.
What,
I've lost
last year?
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
most points in the playoffs.
They
in the
scored
playoffs
50
ever.
a couple
Oh,
times. That makes
50 in the
sense.
Super Bowl. Yeah, that's up.
And
That's up.
against
Most,
Washington.
Yeah, it's true.
most team rushing yards ever in a season.
Mm.
50 plus point differential in the NFC Championship game and Super Bowl alone.
Yeah.
12 plus turnover differential in the playoffs, which is the second best of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Scored the most points ever in a conference championship game with 55.
Mm-hmm.
And held not only the number one defense, but the number one rushing team, which has only ever been done one other time since the merger in 1970.
Okay, you done?
Dominant.
All right.
Was
Next
that
dominant
Seattle, the other
team.
team?
Pardon?
Was that Seattle, the other team?
No, 1970. I don't think so. I don't think
Um,
No, he
I'm-
said since 19.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the other team to do it
Might
was
have
the
been
80, was
Patriots.
the 85 Bears.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Number one defense and number one rushing team. So, yeah.
Okay.
We're going back to back.
And you've got every chance to. But that being said, Jalen Hurts is still the third worst player.
Oh, you guys can slander him all you want.
Tell me I'm wrong. Look at the players and tell me, is he worse than AJ Brown? Is he a worse player than AJ Brown?
I don't know.
Yes.
What are you judging?
You
him
said
by?
AJ Brown was the third best receiver in football last week.
Mate, I think Hurts is the fourth or fifth best quarterback in the league.
George.
Well, right up there with Kirk Cousins.
Jesus, George. That's worse than my takes.
No, it isn't. That's a brilliant take.
You've held it together for so long. I'm so disappointed.
No. Don't be disappointed. And he's going to prove it to everyone again this year.
With what?
With his
While handing off to
21st
Saquon Barkley.
Oh, fuck.
With his
Winning.
20
Because you
21st
said
rank.
last week
By
that if Saquon
winning.
Barkley gets hurt, you agreed that this team's fucked.
By winning. That's how he's going to do
All
it.
right.
Anyway, next team. Who you
I
got?
think the Jets are good. Sorry, the Phillies.
Oh, the
obviously
Eagles are
good.
winning the division. Don't
Yeah,
get me
the
wrong.
Phillies winning the
And to
division.
answer your, they've got every chance of going back to back.
Every
Every chance.
The only thing that will derail us is injuries. That's it. If we are healthy,
No, I don't think it's injuries.
I
I
think-
there's other factors.
no way.
An injury to
everything's-
Saquon.
We're good.
Like-
We're buttoned up.
Like
We're good.
if teams stop you running the ball and Jalen has to throw it. That'll
No.
definitely stop.
He's proved he can do it, and he'll do it again.
When?
In the championship game and in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, he threw.
Championship game.
Didn't Saquon rush for 140 yards or something in the championship game?
No, I think it was 240 actually.
Yeah, I
So-
think that is
so they-
No, they stopped the run real well in that game.
So they
No, but he's proved he can throw the
Handcuffs.
ball. That narrative, you got to let it go, bro. Let it go into the ether.
No,
done.
it's not a
finished.
narrative. It's a fact.
No, it's not a fact. It's not a
he
fact.
is an awful
When the time,
passing
no, he's not
quarterback.
awful. That's wrong. When it's time for him to
He
throw
is-
the ball, he
He
throws
is.
it.
If you take every passing category in the NFL,
He's like in the
He's-
22nd.
yeah, he's on the bottom
It's
third of
because
the
he
league.
doesn't throw it because he doesn't need
No,
to.
but they don't take
They don't take
attempts
the
into account.
attempts. They take the success rate of it
Oh.
all.
Well, he's going to
Don't
prove.
get me wrong. I don't actually mind Jalen Hurts, but he's not a good passing football.
He's going to
player.
prove a lot of doubters wrong this year.
I can't wait. What's proving us wrong? What is he going to do to prove us wrong? 4,000
He
yards.
doesn't have to do anything to prove you wrong.
So you're saying he just has to win?
all,
So he just has to continue to rely on his stacked team to carry him.
you can.
But you're telling me he's going to prove me wrong. Him as a player proving me wrong means he's going to fucking do something. What's he going to do? Because every history tells us that when he
What-
has to throw the ball,
What does he need to do in order to prove
not
you
just,
wrong?
I'm telling
Not
you
rely
that
on
the reason
Saquon
the
and the best
Eagles
O-line.
are
Well,
the
but
best.
why wouldn't he rely on it?
But then that's not
That's
him winning.
That's not him as a quarterback.
Definitely him.
He's
winning.
he's a black Trent Dilfer. That's what he is.
That is a ridiculous call, James, and you know it.
No, but that's,
Same man, Super Bowl wins.
but that's exactly what he's been.
No, I completely disagree with that.
All right, so let me break this down.
Trent Dilfer's harsh. That was harsh.
That's a ridiculous.
But he's not a good passing player. You
He's
know
definitely
he's
not
not.
a top
You
five
know he's not.
Okay,
He's
so
relying on his whole team to be successful.
Let-
He's
let-
on a shit team.
All
he
right,
sucks.
let me break down the stats here. So offensive grade for last year, he was ranked 12 out of 42 quarterbacks with 81.6 Pro
Okay.
Football Focus.
Mhm.
Running grade, he was the second best running quarterback at 91.1.
Mhm.
As a passing quarterback, he was 23rd out of 41 with
Okay.
71.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying in this scheme and with this team, he's a very real player, and they have a very good chance of winning the Super Bowl again.
But if they
You-
stop the run
Yes, if
and you rely on Hurts, that is
he made one good pass in the Super Bowl, which was to Devontae Smith, which was a great pass. Don't get me wrong, but the game was over.
one good pass is underselling.
The game
it a
was
lot.
over by then. Everything else he did was simple. It's simple running a good scheme.
Okay.
I'm just saying that the rest of the team pumps him up to a level where Eagles fans are obsessed with saying how good he is. You think
He's a
a
good quarterback.
You think he's a triple. He's a single at best. He's a bunt and running it out to first base.
Such a good. That's
That's
a
what
good call.
100% what he is, and I like him. I love him,
I
and,
can-
and he's great on this team. But the rest of the team is the reason they are so successful.
Dude, if that helps you sleep at night, it doesn't matter.
It's not about sleeping or not. You just
Doesn't
told me
matter.
he's going to prove me wrong. Tell me how him individually is going to prove me wrong this year. What is he going to do?
He's going to run an efficient, dominant offense like he did this season.
but
Anyone can run an
Barkley-
efficient jet. You could put fucking Pickens, small hand Pickens in there. Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl ender.
Small-
Super Bowl
I'm
ender,
being a
absolutely.
dickhead. I'm being a
Small
dickhead now.
hands Pickens is ridiculous.
I'm being a dickhead
Enough.
now.
That's
That's
enough.
I'm
out
done.
of
I'm done now.
you. We're
Next
moving
man,
on.
next
We're
man.
moving on. We're moving on. James has been ridiculous.
You're not my wife.
Small hands. Small hands is fucking
Hey, super. Hey,
crazy.
all I'm saying is he finished the game.
Commanders 12-5. An historic rookie QB season by Jaden Daniels saw the Commanders make a run all the way to the NFC Championship game. Daniels has shown he is poised cool under pressure, and mature beyond his years on his way to a Rookie of the Year trophy. In response to this, head coach Dan Quinn and GM Adam Peters have gone all in by trading for Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuel, as well as drafting tackle Josh Connolly Jr. and wideout Jalen Lane to further maximize Daniels' talents. Loading up on talent with the rookie QB can be a recipe for disaster, but with a generational talent like Daniels, it could be just what the doctor ordered.
I think we're all pretty similar on Washington, how we feel about them.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think they had a great season last year, and it was enjoyable. And I said a few times, as a Cowboys fan, I thoroughly enjoyed what they were able to do, including the win over Detroit. It was a shocking win, but they got found out in the NFC Championship game. That's probably more their top, right? I like Daniels.
I think that the main reason for the championship game, the margin being so big, was that we definitely jumped them early. But if you just put roster for roster, like
it's not nowhere near as good.
Nowhere near as talented, and
that's
like
my
obviously, like especially as
They
things
definitely
get tighter,
performed where they were at.
Yeah,
bigger games. Yeah, you got to rely on more.
And it also
more
took,
talent.
and we've said this before, but it took the Lions' worst game in the Campbell era and their best tin-ass game.
Yeah.
And the Lions had a chance to win still.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lions they coughed it up. Well, I think they coughed it up like 5 times.
That's what I'm
in
saying.
that game. Like you can't.
There was 2 games last season.
Can't
where
expect
the
to win a
Lions
game like
coughed it
that.
up 5 times.
And
One
one
they
for the
won,
Texans.
and they're the first team to ever win with 5
Yeah.
six turnovers or something.
Can't expect to cough it up that many
No,
times.
there was
and win.
100%
No,
on
but that's what I'm saying. They just got them on their worst day, and they still almost had a chance.
And then
to
that
win.
hit on Goff, which ended up being he came out in the second half. He was fucking seeing stars.
Well, that's right. That hit
Yeah.
that went after he threw the pick. That I mean, you can't do that to a quarterback.
Well, it didn't even get called as a penalty. It was nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think they lost. Brock just scrolls down to defensively because I want to start there. Losing Jonathan Allen's a massive loss to that interior line.
huge.
He's a really, really good player. And then other than that, like I love the way Dan Quinn goes about it. Don't get me wrong. He coaches his guys to play with energy. But they're just not that talented. I like Frankie Louvu.
Yeah, he's good.
Deron Payne is literally a poor man's Jared Allen.
Yep.
Who they kept. Javon
Payne-
Kinlaw is not very good. He's a former first-round pick that's been on 3. It's his third team now.
Bobby Wagner's on his last fucking legs.
Bobby Wagner, like, props to him pulling it together last year. He played really well, but at some point, we know history tells us that's gonna
Lattimore
run.
should come good. He struggled when he went over there a little bit. But
So,
he
so
should come
I'm the
good.
opposite with Lattimore. I think Lattimore's hit that cornerback peak where it goes.
Yeah,
out.
okay. Yeah, maybe.
That's
I-
why the Saints were so
That's why the Saints
eager
were,
to get
and,
rid of
like,
him.
Saints were
That's
dumping
fair.
players
That's
like it was
fair.
going out of fashion. But I just don't see this team. If this team's a really good team again, then I'm talking about him. Then I'm giving Dan Quinn, okay, this guy really knows what he's doing. Because I don't think it's overly talented. I don't think adding Laramie Tunsil,
No.
who, other than one playoff game where he played really well, was a subpar left tackle in the NFL last year, borderline starter. And
I think the
Deebo
Texans were happy to
Samuel,
move on from him because I think he
100%.
wanted a big extension and they
Yeah.
didn't want to
Well,
pay
I
him.
think there's some locker room stuff that's going to
Yeah,
come out
no
of that.
doubt. I think it's come
Yeah.
of it. It's
and
part
then
of it
and
too.
then Deebo Samuel, who his best days are well and truly behind him. Like maybe he's got a resurgent season in him. I
see
don't
it.
see it either, but maybe that's what they're banking on.
Too injured.
Like,
too
and
fat.
I love Terry McLaurin. I think he's a really good player, but I don't think he's like an elite level wide receiver. He's a couple
He's
of
your
tiers down.
borderline 1/2. I don't know if he's an outright number 1 in
He's-
the NFL.
He's
Well, I think
he's like the best 2 in the league, or he's like a borderline 1.
Yeah,
Yes, I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think
yeah.
you put him on maybe 12 teams, and he's a clear number 2.
Yeah.
Like, is he like an Amon-Ra St. Brown
No,
receiver?
Colin Brown's so much better than him.
That's what I'm saying. But like you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah,
And I like him. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great player, but no, we normally see. I think they peaked last year early.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're going to be bad forever. I think once you've got Jaden Daniels, it opens up a whole lot of things for you when you've got your quarterback, and I believe they do, and I like him a lot. But I think next year is going to be a bit of a hiccup down, and then I think they'll start propelling.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in the sophomore slump
Yeah.
for QBs too. I'm a big believer in that.
I'm skeptical on 2 things, and we've seen Kingsbury in the NFL
Mhm.
really, really fall apart.
True.
Gimmicky is probably a strong word, but I'm going to say gimmicky offense where his average release to throw was like 1.3, 1.4 seconds.
Tons of pre-snap movement.
Yeah,
yeah.
When in the first 6 weeks, everyone's like, "How do we stop that?" And then towards the end of the season, those throws aren't there because defenses are putting a guy in that window, and it was making it a little bit harder. And if you want to make a living out of relying on his running ability, he's a smaller
He's
guy.
too small. No
And
way.
that's a recipe for disaster.
He already got injured and missed like 3 or 4 weeks
With the ribs.
middle of the year with the ribs.
Yeah.
And so
Well, I think he missed one game, but then he wasn't right for a
Yeah.
couple of them.
Yeah.
he's
Still
got
had a
his trouble.
sensational year, and I thought he was going to be a bust. And I'll say this every time we talk about him. I thought he was going to be a bust. He's definitely a top tier NFL quarterback.
Yep.
But I'm still just
Oh.
a little bit.
I think that's a bit strong still.
I
think
think.
that's very
Okay,
early.
so he's a borderline top 10 quarterback.
Did anyone have him in top 10? I don't think we did. Did we?
No,
No,
No.
I
He's
don't
a-
think he's top 10.
he's
Not
a,
yet.
he's a borderline. He's. Would you be shocked if he had another year like he did last year? That
No.
he's in the discussion.
No, not at all. Not at all.
If he has another year like last year, then he's definitely in the
Yeah.
discussion as top 10. I
Yeah.
agree.
And
he's
the
an
difference
ascending.
is
Okay, he's an ascending
talent, is it right?
Yes,
Is-
definitely.
ascending borderline top 10 sort of quarterback.
And we talk about like sophomore slump. CJ Stroud had a sophomore slump last year. The
Yeah,
Texans
absolutely.
had that. They were just lucky that they were playing in a crap division.
Correct.
Yeah, they could
So they
just-
were able to win the division still. This is not a crap division.
No.
Like the Eagles are the best team in the NFC.
Easily.
Like, just
Yep.
Yep.
they won a Super Bowl and their talent. We just talked about how talented they are.
Yep.
One of the
So-
probably
And
like
they had
the
to
best
play
team
them
in the NFL.
twice. The Cowboys beat them last year
Yeah.
when they had nothing to play for and were trying to lose and still beat them.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
so I'm saying like and the Giants, and which we'll talk about soon, they're not going to be as easy a beat as the last couple of years.
No. And they were a bit of a Cinderella story. They had a bit of a softer schedule. They won on a last-second field goal against Tampa Bay. They caught
the Hail Mary when
The Hail Mary against
to
the
win
Bears,
game.
which turned the whole thing around, really. It's
Yeah,
like
even,
the
even
sliding
that game,
doors moment.
even that game where they beat the Eagles, which was the only game we lost in that
It was
back end of the
got
year.
to
Hurts.
drop the ball.
Yeah,
Was it-
drop the
or
ball.
was
That
it
hurts.
No, Smith. Devontae
Smith
Smith
dropped
the
a
ball,
first down, which would have been game over.
and then it was like a walk off TD as the
Yeah.
fucking clock expired to win the game. Like it was
Yeah.
pretty, like it was like you said, it was pretty tinny win.
Yeah, as
That's
well.
what I mean. I said I don't have any issues with Washington. I actually want them to have success. I believe they deserve it after the Schneider era and how poorly run they were as an organization. To turn it around would be great for them. I like Dan Quinn, but I just don't see it this year.
I
Yeah.
want
I think
the
catching-
Redskins name back too.
Yeah, it's a good.
I think they caught lightning in a bottle,
Yeah.
and expecting to get the same result again is a little
Yeah,
bit
that's why
worrying.
they loaded up on those guys, expecting that, and I think that's
They've gone a little bit too early on.
a little
the
bit of a
young
cautionary
quarterback.
tale. I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, they should have waited one more year. I
Yeah.
agree.
I think so too. Their early success it might cost them a little bit long run.
Yeah.
But again, once you land a quarterback, the world opens for you.
Yeah.
So I've kept this one short and sweet because I want you to talk.
Oh God.
Cowboys 7-10.
Mm.
2025 looms as a precarious year for the Cowboys. Once America's team, now starved of success, they will be hoping a finally healthy Dak Prescott, the addition of a tenacious George Pickens to pair with their all-pro receiver in CD Lamb, can lead them on a deep playoff run or even an NFC championship game, something they haven't done in almost 30 years.
Yeah, it's not almost 30 years. I think it's over 30 years now.
I think 1996 was their last.
Yeah, right. So 30
Yeah.
years. Look, this is my take on the Cowboys. What I respect about them, and it's not Jerry Jones, it's the way they are trying to build the right way. And the way they have done things for the past, 10 years, other than playoff success, has deemed them a lot of success in terms of wins. The Pickens move, they saw a opportunity where they really struggled last year.
Disgruntled receiver.
Yeah, they saw an opportunity and they went, all right, let's take it now for a third round pick. Bang.
Yeah, I don't hate the Pickens move at all. I actually quite like it.
They lose Zach Martin, who's one of the best guards of all time. 2 years ago, they lost Tyron Smith, who's one of the best left tackles of all time. So they replaced him straight over with Tyler Guyton, who looked good.
He did look good. I agree. Yeah.
Tyler Smith, who they drafted the year before, 2 All-Pros in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And they go again and go, all right, we've just lost Zach Martin. Let's bring in Tyler Booker.
Yeah, he's a
They're,
mauler.
they're
too.
trying to do the right things. And then defensively, I respect them. At least they're not just sitting on their hands and going, oh, let's just roll back the same thing. Because this is a completely different team than last season.
Yeah, they've made a lot of off-season moves. That's
So
true.
now, to get to the point of, is it going to be successful? When you make this many changes, it gives you the opportunity to be successful, but it also gives you the opportunity for it to fall apart. and
Yeah.
fail. And that's where they're sitting right now. They're right in that middle ground of, yes, I can see them being a playoff team next year. Not winning the division, but I can see them being a
a
comfortable
12-win team kind of thing, yeah.
wild card.
Yeah.
And then I can also see them being a 5-win team and we're blowing it all up. We're firing the coach and we're starting fresh.
Mm.
That's
That's why I said it's
I don't
very
know.
precarious, man. It's very
the
precarious.
floor and the ceiling are such a massive gap. And I don't know where it sits because of how much change there is.
I think I like the Cowboys' moves overall in a vacuum. I think they've done a very good job this offseason. I've got two issues. One, it's a year one of a soft rebuild. That's basically what it is.
Yep, 100% it is.
I like Shoddy. I think I've seen he's left an imprint in the NFL every time he's gone somewhere.
Yep.
And I think he's going to do good things without being outrageous.
That's fair.
I think
That's a
you
fair
just
call.
got absolutely murdered with the schedule. And I think your team is
That's
going to
the
be
problem.
better on paper than what the record will be. And I think year one of a soft rebuild, that's probably good. You'll get a better draft pick. And then next year, you'll probably go back to being like around about 10 to 12 wins.
I think you got the third strongest strength of schedule.
Which is
I looked it up.
diabolical for finishing 30 in the
Yeah.
division. And you still, and that we've talked about that 8-week stretch they had.
That 8 weeks.
Where they,
It's just
I think
ridiculous.
it's a 6-week stretch. It's the first time in NFL history where they will play 6 teams in a row that had 12 or more wins from the year before.
Yeah.
Like it's just tough. So unless a few of those teams fall apart from injury or guys struggle
could
out of
happen.
nowhere, which it does happen every year. Like the Niners kind of fell apart last year, and we still lost to the Niners last year.
But the Niners fell apart, but they still weren't an easy win. They
No.
still won 6 or 7 games or something for the year.
And that's
So-
my thing. Like I don't think the Cowboys are as much about what's on paper for that team. I think they have enough talent on this roster to be a good football team.
Yeah, I agree.
But the schedule, the new coach, everything's stacked against them a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to look at this not from a
It's a bit
Cowboys
tough
fan. And,
division too.
yeah, and I'm just trying to look at it from a perspective of like, if I'm not a Cowboys fan and I'm looking at this, I would love them to be a playoff team next year. And I think if they find a way to be a playoff team next year, it is such a massive success. With
if
what
they're a
they're
playoff
working on.
team next year, they are a bloody good team because they've beaten a lot of good teams.
100%. I don't see it happening. I think,
No, I don't
the
think so
teams
either.
they play are too hard.
I
But
agree.
again, year one of a soft rebuild with the players they've added, I like where they're going.
Yes,
They-
you can
they
see the
I
blueprint.
said everyone knows I'm an O-line guy.
Give it to
They've
us,
got-
Brock.
Rocky boy.
Here we go. So most games against 2024 playoff teams. The Eagles have 11 because they play Washington twice, Detroit, Denver, Rams, Buffalo, Green Bay, KC, Chargers, Minnesota, and Tampa Bay.
Love it.
11 of 18.
Love it. I love it.
17 games.
I love
The
bringing it
Cow-
up, man. I love it.
The Cowboys have 10, simply for the fact they play Philly twice, Washington twice, Green Bay, Minnesota, KC, Chargers, Denver, Detroit.
The problem is they play them all in a stretch.
Yeah, it's an 8-week span where you will play 6 of those games.
They almost have to win their first 7 games if they
Yeah,
want to have a
yeah,
chance to
yeah,
play
the bank
playoffs,
them.
which it doesn't happen very often in the NFL. So
No,
and the
it's
schedule's
true.
not a
And-
soft schedule. It's
And
tough.
the difference is the Eagles are a far superior roster on paper.
Yeah,
so they can
and they were
handle that.
they were a number 1 seed last year.
And they won the Super Bowl. Like they're going to play good.
No, we're not. We were 2 seed. We were 2 seed last year.
Yeah, the Lions were number 1 seed.
Lions
yeah.
had 15 wins.
Yeah, my bad.
But they won the Super Bowl. They're going to get the primetime games with very good opponents, so the eyeballs watch. The Cowboys, unfortunately, are going to get the primetime games against good opponents, and they're a lesser team. That's just the reality of it.
100%.
In a soft rebuild, I think they're on the right path. Like I said, I think their win-loss total is not going to reflect how good they actually will be. I think they're going to be a better team than what the record
will
shows.
show. Yeah, look, so I said I'm the ultimate pessimistic Cowboys fan. There hasn't been many moves this season, other than Zach Martin retiring, which is under no control of the Dallas Cowboys, that I haven't liked.
Mm.
I like the pick.
Oh,
the
the
move.
Miles Sanders is probably a little bit iffy,
But you know what?
else?
It's for nothing.
Yeah.
They've signed Miles Williams and Javonte Williams for nothing. I'm
Yep.
guaranteeing you they're going to be more productive than Zeke Elliott.
Yes.
Well-
I'm still a big Javonte Williams
I reckon
guy.
Brock,
I
could be,
think-
I reckon
like
Brock
Javonte
could
Williams.
get more yards than Zeke Elliott right now.
He was awful last year.
Ah,
and then,
Cap.
and then Jaden Blue in the draft.
Yeah,
He's
Jaden
a speedster. So they're trying to do something. I respect that.
I'm interested to see Shoddy and Prescott together.
yeah,
it'd be interesting.
I think that'll be a good marriage there.
I think Brocky, go.
I just want to double back on that statement, George. I ran 4 routes last night at training, and I could barely walk this morning, so Zeke Elliott might have me cut.
So
But
fair
I'm just-
comparison then.
I'm just trying to pump you up, man.
I appreciate it.
As the coach, you should hit up Zeke. He's probably looking
My,
for a
my
place
quad
to
was
play
killing
next
me in the morning. I have nothing left in me, boys.
It's all
year.
love, bro.
Tell Zeke that if he comes and plays for the Rangers this year, he can live in here, but he has to do the podcast with us every week.
Deal.
That'd be fire.
Can
So-
can he get a Ranger burger and a Gatorade after the game? Because that's all we can afford.
Mate, I'll buy it for him. Just give him 2 and I'll buy the half.
All right.
give us the
Last game for
Giants.
tonight. The New York Football Giants were 3-14. In a rare moment of clarity for the Giants front office, they finally decided to move on from Daniel Jones last season.
A rare moment of clarity.
However,
Did you say
unfortunately,
post-nut clarity?
no, I didn't. No, I didn't. You did, but it's equally as
Yeah.
clear.
They rubbed one out and go, nah, Daniels is not the guy. Let's get rid of him.
However, unfortunately, that's crazy, isn't it? I love it. Daniels ain't the guy. We got to move on. Joe Shane rubs one out and then he rings
Yeah.
table. Like,
Guys, I've seen the vision.
I shouldn't call her again.
I'll just rub one out. Daniels ain't the guy.
Yeah, he's
Call me. He leaves a voicemail to Dable. He ain't the guy. Call me.
yeah. I've had some internal reflection. Trust me, we're shipping him off.
All right.
Play him at safety. Go.
Shut up. I'm straightening up. Shut up. However, unfortunately, they continued to do Giants things by signing both Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston to jostle for the role of QB1. Amazingly, Brian Daboll was able to keep his job after a disastrous 3-win season. GM Joe Shane, fresh from the stink of letting Saquon Barkley walk to division rivals and eventual champions Philadelphia,
And offensive player of the year.
and 2,000-yard season, looks to have bought himself and Daboll some time with 2 fantastic first-round selections in Abdul Carter, arguably the best player in the draft, and Ole Miss QB Jackson Dart, who has talent to burn and can easily turn into the QB of the future in New York. Look for the restless New York media to call for him to start games when Wilson or Winston inevitably start to struggle under center.
This
Fair?
is a what I'm worried. Like the fact that Dable kept his job shows that he's a good coach.
I think he's a very good coach.
I actually don't, if they didn't fire Dable after last year, I think they're going to give him a run with Jackson Dart, which means a couple of seasons.
I think he's got this year, and if Dart will probably be the full-time starter as of next season.
He'd
Really?
have to. He'll have to. Yeah.
Now, Schoen, on the other hand,
No, they're married. They're married. One will go with the other.
I don't think so. I don't think so,
You reckon?
mate.
If they haven't fired him for letting Barkley walk to a division rival to have a 2,000-yard season, when are they going to fire him?
You were getting very close on Elon Musk there.
When are they going to fire him, bro? Think about it.
after this season, and then Dable's job is directly hinged to Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I can see that reality. Yeah,
That means physically on the field and mentally. When they at the end of the season, when they're 4 and whatever it is, 4 and 16, 4 and 5, whatever it is, 4 and 15, 4 and 12. Good math.
4 and 13.
4 and 13.
No, I think they play 30 games now.
They get an extra bye. They need it.
When they're coming off a 4-win season, they're going to talk to Jackson Dart and go, "You like Dable?" And if he says, "Absolutely, I do," and then the physical attribute, the physical play on the field has backed that he's going to be the guy of the future, that keeps Dable his job. When Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Zach Pascal, any free agent you want to talk about doesn't work, little Jordan Humphrey, when it doesn't work out, Joe Schoen is done.
Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah.
And they'll find a GM that will want to come, because Dable is an extremely good offensive coach.
Yeah, agreed. He's a
And
good coach.
what he did last year when he was, don't forget, they had to cut Daniel Jones a third of the way through the season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They had to cut him. It wasn't, let's go to the back. It was like, he was like, please cut me and let me go.
Yeah.
To Minnesota to be the 4th string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
So, I'm telling you, Dable's job is directly hinged to Jackson Dart. Schoen's job is hinged to them winning games, which is not going to happen. Schoen will not last into
I think the NFL has Dable in high regard.
I think so too. Because
I
I think if they didn't, they would have fired him last year.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think Dable's a very good coach as well.
I agree.
And I also think that maybe there was a conversation at around about week 7 or 8, and they're like, sink the ship.
Yeah. Sure.
Let's just sink the ship. Cut whoever might even be productive. Don't put him in positions to win.
Yeah, because we want some.
We
high
need
picks,
that
yeah.
pick.
And Abdul Carter, I'm so excited
how
to watch him play.
that fell to him. How he fell to them.
He's such an asshole, and I love it.
Yeah. You shouldn't make friends when you're playing football. You're there to beat the fuck out of people.
As I showed you guys before the show, that Laron Landry wearing a training camp. I'm not here for my disposition.
Yeah.
That is Abdul Carter.
I want to
He's
make
not
that.
there for his personality.
I want that T-shirt.
He is there to play football, and he's going to play football.
He's a can't miss day one starter stud. Rookie of the
And
year.
so too. And then you pair him with Dexter Lawrence, who's the best D tackle in football.
Thibodeau, where does Thibodeau go? Because there's no position for him now.
I think Thibodeau stays
another
on this team. I
To
think he
another
stays on this team. Until a team comes and says, yeah, I don't think many people want him because
I don't
he's
think
he's
anyone
such a
wants
twat.
Yeah.
Like he's shown that he's just a
Okereke from last year was a good pick too.
Okereke's a good player. He came
Yeah.
from the Colts. Brian Burns was very good last year. Like you've got
Yo, Brian Burns is absolutely
Yeah.
you've got a defensive line,
They might
Dexter
have the
Lawrence,
best D-line.
Abdul Carter, and Brian Burns.
Yeah.
Like that's of your three of your four guys. And then what they'll do, if Thibodeau's smart,
Robert Harris can
he'll
beat
learn
blocks.
to play that pass rushing 3-tech.
Sure.
Yes.
So he can get in on the pass rushing downs. And that's his skill. That's
Yeah.
what he's good at.
He's got he's definitely got the body type to do that.
Yeah, that's what he should be looking to do. But from what I know about Abdul Carter at this point, not Abdul, about Thibodeau at this point, is that he doesn't do anything he doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
Whereas I reckon if you said to Abdul Carter, "Hey, you're going to play nose tackle," he'd be like, "Yeah, cool."
Yo,
Whatever.
I'll
I don't
murder
care.
a center. I don't have to run as far.
Do I still get to hit someone?
Yeah.
I'm in. I don't care how I do it.
Yeah. That's
That's-
fair.
what's the shortest distance to the quarterback? Nose tackle. All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
You got me.
I'm high on Dart. I think he's got that flair. He's super athletic. He's got the cannon.
Yep.
He seems to want to be a quarterback. And when I say like a quarterback, like the small little ins and outs, he wants to be
Matters
there. He
to him.
wants to
Yeah.
learn that. You see the videos with Gruden. You see the videos with Dable. You see all this stuff. He's a coachable kid.
Yeah.
I think he will be that.
He's very likable.
Yeah.
Which kills me
Yeah.
that he's on the Giants.
Oh,
because I hate
And-
life.
I loved
you know
him
what-
pre-draft.
you know what he
I
is?
absolutely
Tall,
loved him.
white, handsome.
guns.
And he is a gunslinger.
Yep.
Yeah. I do. I like Jackson Dart a lot. I'm not as high on him yet because, again, I don't watch as much college football as the average person. So all I've seen is the lead up from the draft. Yeah, everyone looks good in the lead up to the draft, the stuff they play.
You watch his
Let's
tape.
see how it
you-
plays
you
out.
watch
I don't
his
know,
tape at
should
Ole
all-
Miss, he flash it.
Where should all go in the 5th round for a reason?
You watch his tape from Ole Miss, and
Yeah.
he's the arms live. Like the guy,
Yes.
the guy can fucking.
Which
play.
again,
A high character person too.
yeah,
Yeah,
very
exactly.
likable. I think as
They've-
much as I hate it, I hope the Giants don't turn
Look,
it around.
Says the word
New
too.
York.
I find it hard for them not to. Like that marriage with Dable is going to be really good. It's
Yeah.
only a matter of time, man.
I think New York obviously over pump it up because they're like, hey, we haven't had the guy.
Yeah,
Like Eli was statistically a good quarterback, but he wasn't the guy.
no. Well, not late anyway. Late in his career, they were looking for anyway to
Yeah, but-
replace him.
Yeah, but
You
I
say that though, but he
find-
did. He went on 2 Super Bowl runs and he beat the Patriots twice. Like that's something, man. It counts for
okay,
something.
but like there was some luck involved.
That
It
defense was
wasn't-
also very good.
Agreed, it was deep, and you need a
This is dangerous, George.
Hold on,
Don't go there.
Are you saying that
You get self burn.
Jalen Hurts is the black Eli Manning?
It's very similar.
You
It's
are-
very close.
You are so retarded.
Little bit of luck with the helmet catch. That's all you need. A little bit.
Nah, but
Stow game.
I'm not shocked that the New York. I'm not shocked that the New York media is just going to pump this kid up,
Yeah.
but they can't throw him out to the wolves. I think
No,
week
no,
6 they're going to get him in, run some sort of vanilla offense, get his feet wet a little bit.
When's
Let's-
their buy? Can you say when their buy is, please, bro?
Let Wilson eat shit to the bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
think they got a
thinking,
tough.
And then if Wilson can't eat shit to the bye, throw in Jameis.
I
Just
think
let
they got a
someone else
tough
do it.
6 weeks, and I think they'll play a few good defenses, and you don't set any rookie quarterback up for that.
No, and they don't need to because
No.
they've got 2 veteran guys.
I truly believe Dable's going to try and hide him and protect him and wait as long as he possibly can before he starts him. For that reason, you don't want to just throw him to the wolves. You want him to sit, learn and mature into that starting role.
Yeah.
When's their buy, please, bro?
Give me a second finding it.
Thank you.
Oh, so Anthony Johnson Jr., the backup free safety. Actually, while we're talking about free safeties, Javon Holland from Miami is a really good addition.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah, he's just a really solid player. It's unfortunate that he has to play for the Giants.
Well, their defense on paper is not too bad.
Their D line is good, and that's probably.
I also and this is through no fault of Deontay Banks at all.
Mm.
I can't stand him because of how good the media pumped him up last year. Early.
Yeah.
And then he would, every time I watched the Giants play, which is probably 5 or 6 times last year, he was dreadful.
Mm.
Like, couldn't cover a cold. Like, he was awful. Couldn't cover up a kid laying in his bed. Like, he could not cover anything.
I think that there was genuinely a conversation to just steer the ship into the ground.
Yeah, just dump it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're too far off. You found the buy yet, Broggy?
Give me a sec. I'm trying to find it.
Google New York Giants by 2025.
Don't tell me how to do my job, Scott.
He's in somewhere in a Word document.
Yeah,
It's a pedophile.
that might have to get beeped out.
That's PDF. It's the slang.
Keep going, Brock. You're
Anyway,
trying your best.
While we're doing that,
you.
while he's finding the buy, let's do our division rankings. That's the divisions.
Yep.
So we'll start with the AFC North. AFC East.
Week 14.
Week 4.
Oh.
Oh, that's perfect. Great buy.
Yeah.
Getting 2 weeks before the bye and
Yeah.
then
Maybe
finish the year.
a week before and then finish the year out.
Yeah, that's actually the NFL's helped.
That's
out there.
that's
That's an
will
absolute
happen.
assist from
Yeah.
the NFL.
That's what will happen. For
Sorry,
sure.
Jameis. Sorry,
Then they
Russ.
play Washington and Minnesota the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Minnesota's could be a good defense, but yeah.
Yeah, Washington, I don't think will be good.
Yeah, he'll torch Washington.
All right, let's do our power rankings. Let's do the AFC East. I had them at 6. Scotty had them at 7. George had them at 6, and Brock had them at 7. So we all had them around the same area.
Yeah, I had them at 6 purely because the Bills are going to be so good,
Yeah,
and the rest of it's just rubbish.
Like, I think I have more hope of any other than the Bills. I have more hope for the Patriots, who were a 4-win team last year, than the other 2 teams.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm.
Yeah,
But
I think they're going to sneak a wild card.
In a vacuum.
They're going to be
Yeah.
sneaky
Like
chance for a wild
You've
card.
got the new coach bump, which every team but Miami don't. Like every team, like you've got the Jets. I think it's it's the Bill. The way I do my division rankings, I look at, is there a runaway team, and that kind of takes away from the rest of the division, in my opinion. And then we had the NFC East. There's a bit of difference in the NFC East. I had them at 5. Scotty and George had them at 3, and Brock also had them at 5. I've said my piece on the Cowboys. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC with the Lions. I think that after that, there's a chance there's not a wild card team from the NFC East this year.
Oh, there's a very good chance, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah. So then why 3?
So I had them 3 for the same reason why I had the AFC North at 5. So I think that the Cowboys probably would maybe flip a coin with the Bengals.
Yeah, okay.
And then the Giants and the Commanders are probably going to be. Well, Commanders are better than Steelers and Browns, and Giants are probably better than the Browns.
Yeah, that's fair.
So throughout the whole thing, I look at the second ranked and the third ranked teams, and if they would beat each other, who would win?
Oh yeah, okay. So you do it more of like a level playing field than a top heavy.
Yeah,
which is fair. That's a good.
I'd sort of base it on wins. I think Philly will probably be the same again. 13-14 wins is probably about right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And I thought Cowboys and Commanders,
they're probably going to win 8 games. They're probably,
between,
at a minimum, they're probably going to win 7 or 8 games.
Both teams are probably going to be somewhere between 8 and 10 wins.
Yeah,
that's about fair for both teams, somewhere in around there. And even the Giants, they're not super talented, but they're probably going to win 5 or 6 games. Probably.
I would take the Giants right now over the Browns.
Oh yeah,
yes,
I think so too.
So just in the way I look at it, that's why I would put them that way.
Fair. I like it.
All right, fair enough. Well, that's it for us this week. Brocky, you got Brocky's Corner?
I don't have a Brocky's Corner next week, but I just want to tease next week's Brocky Corner.
Oh, I like this. I like what
the-
he's
Brock.
Tease me, baby.
Little tease. So Netflix documentary Quarterback Season 2 has released 2 days ago. I'll be reviewing it next week. I've got a quiet weekend this week, so I'll be binge watching all of it, and I'll give you my feedback next week, boys.
Who are
It's
the
basically
quarterbacks?
home and away for the NFL, isn't it?
Joe Burrow and 2 others.
Oh, nice.
Not
Yeah,
100% sure who
Joe
they are.
Burrow's definitely one.
I know. I think Kirk Cousins is one too.
Again,
It could actually be Kirk Cousins, the top 5 quarterback.
Just Google it real quick.
With
quarterback.
while
Jalen
Brock's
Hurts is
looking
top
up who
5.
they are.
Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow.
Okay.
That's not a bad little.
3 very likable
Not a
quarterbacks.
bad little group. I know it's
Go
Kirk
the
Cousins.
Bible
I don't know if
matchup.
Kirk Cousins is likable.
He's very
He's
likable.
interesting. Let's put it
What's
that
wrong with
way.
Kirk? Why is he not likable?
I just
He's all right.
He's just very milk. He's not unlikable.
Hey,
and he's not
you like that?
likable. He's just
You like that?
He's milk toast. Now, I want to give a quick shout out
Ooh.
to all the new followers on our social media.
Yeah.
All the new people viewing us. Record amount of views on YouTube on our full length podcast this
We
week.
appreciate it.
Amazing.
Almost triple the amount that we've ever got. We are blowing every single metric we have every single week. I'm literally looking every week going,
That's amazing.
That's not real.
Hey, that's on you guys.
So
Thank
shout
you.
out to all you guys. We
Cool.
appreciate it. What we want from you guys, comment, tell us we're
Yes.
wrong. Send us in questions, send us in voice notes. Anything, like, we are open to discussing anything. If it's the stupidest thing you can ever think of, send it in. It'll be a laugh. That's what we're
Send in
about.
a voice clip. Yeah, for
send in a
sure.
voice clip. Send it
Can't
in.
be worse than some of Brock's takes, so it's all good.
Oh, George, you had some thinkers tonight.
You're on a short leash tonight, big fella.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, no, I mean that respectfully. Don't fight me. I'm just
We
a
all know
male,
George-
George.
we all
It's a
know
20-meter
George likes
leash.
too.
It's a 20-meter leash.
Loves a leash.
Whatever.
We got the South.
Shout out to all the social medias. We'll do the South next week. You know, appreciate everyone tuning in. It's we're very humbled by how many people are viewing what we're doing right now, and we're thoroughly enjoying it. So
See, should all
Amen
this
to
is
that.
humble.
this is
Amen to
humble.
that.
Yeah, comment, bag us. People telling us it's crazy to see Australians talking football. Keep doing it. I love it. It's great
Yeah.
for the algorithm. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Further
Peace.